Moonlight crossed the curtains and rested by your side. You came in from the evening with silence in your eyes. I poured 2 glasses slowly and never asked you why. Your jacket held the cold air, your hands were tight and still. I moved a little closer, but left you room to feel. Some hearts do not need answers, they only need the night. A patient hand beside them and one forgiving light. The moonlight stayed until we smiled, silver on the floor. It listened while we opened every softly guarded door. The moonlight stayed until we smiled, until your eyes grew warm. And for a little while, my love, we forgot about the storm. You told me of the mornings that asked too much of you, the promises you carried and dreams you never knew. I spoke about the lonely years I wore like evening clothes. You touched the truth between my words where no one ever goes. We did not try to mend it all or make the past seem right. We simply let our weary hearts rest gently in the light. The moonlight stayed until we smiled, silver on the floor. It listened while we opened every softly guarded door. The moonlight stayed until we smiled, until your eyes grew warm. And for a little while, my love, we forgot about the storm. Patient summer moon, then laughter found the silence like music finding time. You leaned your head against my own, and slowly, so did I. The moonlight stayed until we smiled, until the dark grew thin. You watched the hope we thought we lost come quietly back in. The moonlight stayed until we smiled, then faded with the blue. But every tender ray it left was still alive in you. You looked across the candlelight, and something in me opened. I learned to keep my feelings behind a careful smile, to answer every question without revealing why. But you could hear the distance inside the words I chose. You saw the hidden tenderness I never let them know. You did not ask me to confess or pull the truth apart. You waited in the silence until I showed my heart. Your eyes knew my quiet heart before I spoke your name. They found the little fire I protected from the rain. Your eyes knew my quiet heart, every shadow, every scar, and loved me without asking who I had been before. We sat beside the window while midnight filled the street. Your fingers touched the glass once, then slowly reached for me. I told you half a story, you understood it all. The years I spent pretending I never needed love. Some people hear the language their lonely hearts conceal. You never needed perfect words to know what I could feel. Your eyes knew my quiet heart before I spoke your name. They found the little fire I protected from the rain. Your eyes knew my quiet heart, every shadow, every scar, and loved me without asking who I had been before. I thought that being understood would leave me far to bear, but there was nothing frightening in the kindness of your stare. You held no judgment in your hands, no promise dressed in gold. You only stayed beside me and made it safe to unfold. Your eyes know my quiet heart, the woman underneath, the one who still believes in love but sometimes fears to speak. Your eyes know my quiet heart and never turn away. So I will let you see me now, with nothing left to hide. The candle lost its final flame, the room became the dark, but I could still feel your eyes holding my quiet heart. but the record is still warm. Your jacket waits beside the door. My shoes are on the floor. The candles have grown shorter, but I still want you more. The city starts its morning, a taxi crosses town. You reach to stop the music, I gently turn it down. We do not need another promise or reasons we should stay. Just hold me while the darkness still keeps the dawn away. Give me one more dance before sunrise, one more turn beneath the fading light. Let your heartbeat lead me slowly through the final breath of night. And give me one more dance before sunrise, before the morning calls your name. Let me keep this tender feeling, even when the room has changed. Your hand rests at my waistline, my cheek against your chest. We move without a rhythm, and somehow know each step. No words disturb the moment, no questions cross the air. The night may leave the window, but love is standing here. I know the day is waiting beyond these quiet walls, but time becomes forgiving whenever your shadow falls. Give me one more dance before sunrise, one more turn beneath the fading light. Let your heartbeat lead me slowly through the final breath of night. Give me one more dance before sunrise, before the morning calls your name. Let me keep this tender feeling, even when the room has changed. Maybe we cannot hold the hours or ask the moon to stay, but we can make one memory the daylight cannot take. So pull me slightly closer and let the whole world wait. Some goodbyes lose their sadness when love is given space. Give me one more dance before sunrise, while the sky turns softly blue. Let the first light find me resting, safe and certain live on. The record stops behind us. The sun touches. Rain moved along the window. Your shadow crossed the room. The evening came in restless, with thunder down the street. I watched the curtains trembling while you sat close to me. You took the glass from my hand and placed it by the light, then drew me to your shoulder as the city lost the night. We could not stop the weather or make the darkness small, but underneath your quiet touch, I did not fear at all. The night wrapped around our love, soft as velvet on the skin, while the rain kept falling outside. You let the stillness in. Every fear I carried lost the strength to hold on. The record played so softly, it nearly disappeared. Your heartbeat gave the rhythm my lonely heart could hear. I told you what had hurt me without arranging every word. You held me through the pauses and understood what was unheard. No promise stopped the thunder, no kiss could clear the sky, but love became the shelter where I no longer had to hide. The night wrapped around our love, soft as velvet on the skin, while the rain kept falling outside. You let the stillness in. The night wrapped around our love till the whole wide world was gone, and every fear I carried lost the strength to hold on. Let the window shake with the weather, let the midnight lose its way. There are storms that cannot reach us when two hearts decide to stay. I once thought love was rescue, a door from every pain, but you showed me it was courage to stand together in the rain. The night wrapped around our love, while the first light touched the floor, and the woman I had hidden was afraid of you no more. The night wrapped around our love till the clouds chased the city, but it never let us go. Rain whispered on the rooftop. Your lips were close to mine. The lamps along the avenue were fading through the glass. You stood behind me quietly and held me from the past. Your fingers crossed my shoulder like sunlight through a shade. Then every careful wall in me began to fall away. You never had to hurry or make the moment loud. Your tenderness arrived like rain and softened every doubt. Every kiss tasted like Sunday rain, soft upon my skin, slow enough to calm the heart and let the morning in. Every kiss tasted like Sunday rain, warm against the cold. You touched the place inside of me that time could never hold. We left the curtains open and watched the water shine. The record turned behind us, your breathing followed mine. No diamonds on the table, no promises rehearsed, only the way you kissed me as though love had come first. I had known desire before that vanished with the night, but yours remained so gently, like rain beneath the light. Every kiss tasted like Sunday rain, soft upon my skin, slow enough to calm the heart and let the morning in. Every kiss tasted like Sunday rain, warm against the cold. You touched the place inside of me that time could never hold. Sunday rain asks nothing, it falls and lets you breathe. It washes every restless thought and leaves not the same. Every kiss tastes like Sunday rain, gentle, deep and true. A little taste of peace returns whenever I touch you. Every kiss tastes like Sunday rain, falling warm and slow. And every time your lips find mine, I feel my whole heart open. The rain has left the rooftop, the clouds have crossed the blue, but Sunday stays inside each kiss whenever I am with you. I had forgotten how a heart could make a sound again. I kept my words behind me, like letters never sent. I smile through every evening and call the silence strength. Then you began to listen to all I could not say. You heard a hidden melody where others heard the rain. You never broke the quiet or asked me to explain. You waited for my guarded heart to find its voice again. You turned my silence into music, gave every feeling room. You found a song beneath the fear I carried through the years. You turned my silence into music without changing who I am. Now every note I thought was lost is rising through your hands. We stayed beside the piano while midnight crossed the floor. You played a simple passage I had never heard before. I sang one line above it. My voice was soft and low. You looked at me so tenderly. I found the strength to go on. Love did not speak above me or tell me what to feel. It gave the truth inside my chest, a gentle way to breathe. You turned my silence into music, gave every feeling room. You found a song beneath the fear I carried through the years. You turned my silence into music without changing who I am. Now every note I thought was lost is rising through your hands. I once believed that quiet dance into music, and I will never hide again. The room was dressed in amber. Then you looked at me. The wine remained untouched. The roses leaned in gold. A quiet record filled the room with stories growing old. You stood beside the window, your jacket open wide, and every flame grew softer when you turned into the light. I had seen 1,000 evenings in rooms both rich and fine, but nothing ever held me like your eyes were holding mine. Candlelight never looked so beautiful until it rested on your face. Never felt so warm or wonderful until you pulled me close. Candlelight never looked so beautiful. Golden shadows moving slow. Maybe it was not the candlelight. Maybe it was love beginning to show. You asked me what I wanted. I could not find the words, so I placed my hand inside your hand and let the truth be heard. You traced the line along my wrist, then waited for my sign. No hurry in your breathing, no claim upon what was mine. Desire does not need thunder to make the senses rise. Sometimes it enters softly through the kindness into eyes. Candlelight never looked so beautiful until it rested on your face. Never felt so warm or wonderful until you pulled me close. Candlelight never looked so beautiful. Golden shadows moving slow. Maybe it was not the candlelight. Maybe it was love beginning to show. Let the candles lose their fire. Let the room return to blue. What made the night so beautiful was never wax or perfume. It was how you saw the woman behind the silk and careful grace, and made her feel more beautiful. candles fade to darkness. The first light fills the room, but everything still looks beautiful whenever I look at you. One evening by the window, and time forgot to move. You arrived without a warning, just before the rain. I offered you some coffee, you softly spoke my name. We talked about the small things, the books beside my chair. Then somewhere in the quiet, love entered unaware. No stars began to tremble, no bells rang through the night, but something in your presence made every moment right. We found forever in one evening, in the way you held my gaze, in the pauses between our stories, in the warmth that chose to stay. We found forever in one evening, though we never called it love. Sometimes a single tender night can tell the heart enough. The rain moved down the windows, the streetlights blurred to gold. You told me where life hurt you and what you could not hold. I showed you all my questions, the ones I kept inside. You never tried to answer, you only stayed beside me. We did not make a promise the future could not keep, but trust was growing quietly in places hidden deep. We found forever in one evening, in the way you held my gaze, in the pauses between our stories, in the warmth that chose to stay. We found forever in one evening, though we never called it love. Sometimes a single tender night can tell the heart enough. Forever is not always 1,000 years ahead. Sometimes it is the certainty behind one word unsaid. The feeling that tomorrow will find you standing near, the peaceful recognition that the waiting brought you here. We found forever in one evening, as the rain became a mist, in the way your hand reached slowly and my hand answered it. We found forever in one evening, before morning crossed the sky, and I knew this love would follow us beyond that single night. The rain has left the window, the coffee has grown cold, but forever found us quietly before the night grew old. The curtains move like breathing. A warm wind crossed the room. You opened up the window to let the evening in. The city spoke below us while moonlight touched your skin. I watched you pour the red wine, then turn the record low. Your hand reached out to find me, as if it always knew. No one said forever, no promise crossed our lips, but something in the midnight air was changing with each kiss. Love whispered through the open window, soft enough for only us. It moved between the curtains and rested in your touch. Love whispered through the open window while the restless city shone, and every gentle word you gave made my guarded heart feel known. A distant train was passing, the clock had nearly stopped. Your jacket lay beside me, my earrings on the top. We spoke about tomorrow without demanding plans. The future felt less frightening with my fingers in your hands. You did not need to tell me what morning might become. The calm inside your breathing had already said enough. Love whispered through the open window, soft enough for only us. It moved between the curtains and rested in your touch. Love whispered through the open window while the restless city shone, and every gentle word you gave made my guarded heart feel known. Perhaps love comes in silence before it finds a name. A warm wind through the darkness, a hand beside the flame. It does not ask permission or wait outside the door. It enters through the smallest space and leaves you wanting more. Love whispered through the open window as the night turned pale and blue. It carried every hidden hope from my waiting heart to you. Love whispered through the open window till the morning touched the wall, and in the quiet way you held me, I finally heard it all. The curtains have stopped moving, the city greets the dawn, but love still fills the open room, though the midnight wind is gone. The hour had grown quiet, but neither heart could leave. Your suitcase by the doorway cast shadows on the floor. We had said all the reasons, then searched for something more. The city lights were fading, the moon hung pale and high. You reached to touch my cheek once, but could not say goodbye. We knew the road was waiting, we knew the night would end. Still every passing minute brought you closer to me again. The stars waited for our last goodbye, while we held each other near. They stayed above the window, as if they could keep you here. The stars waited for our last goodbye, till the darkness lost its blue. But neither one could find the words to make our leaving true. You slowly closed your suitcase and sat beside me once more. We listened to the silence that love had left between us. I rested on your shoulder, you held my trembling hand. For one more tender moment, we did not need to understand. Some love survives by staying, some love must set you free. But knowing why we had to leave did not make it easy. The stars waited for our last goodbye, while we held each other near. They stayed above the window, as if they could keep you here. The stars waited for our last goodbye, till the darkness lost its blue. But neither one could find the words to make our leaving true. Do not promise you My heart still whispered, stay tonight. Your footsteps cross the hallway. The sky was turning silver, but the record still had time. Your shoes were by the doorway, my dress lay on the chair. A ribbon of early sunlight was moving through the air. You said the night was ending. I smiled and dimmed the light, then placed the needle gently on one more song for us. The streets could start without us, the clocks could carry on. Nothing beyond that quiet room could call me from your arms. Morning could wait, one more song, one more rhythm soft and slow, one more turn around the room before we had to let it go. Morning could wait, one more song, let the daylight stay outside. For as long as you were holding me, the night was still alive. We moved without a pattern, your hand against my waist. No conversation needed, no moment when to waste. The saxophone was fading, the bass was warm and low. You kissed my temples softly, as if you hated letting go. Tomorrow had its questions, the world had plans to make, but love deserved another song before the spell could break. Morning could wait, one more song, one more rhythm soft and slow, one more turn around the room before we had to let it go. Morning could wait, one more song, let the daylight stay outside. For as long as you were holding me, the night was still alive. Perhaps we could not stop the sun or keep the stars above, but time became less powerful when measured out in love. So let the final record turn, let every note belong to two hearts choosing tenderness before the night was gone. Chance to feel forever in the way I moved with you. Morning could wait, one more song till the final chord was through. And when the daylight found the room, my heart was still with you. The record stopped its turning, sunlight crossed the floor. Morning waited.